Well, it will be a mistake to sack Antonio Conte, Ray Wilkins, and that was brought to you by, well, Benedict also. Well, let's move on, because this is AM Business. As usual, every Wednesday morning, you can join us for the best highlights of business stories. And today, we're focusing on the airline industry and expect a new travel experience soon as you go through the Kotoka International Airport here at Accra. The new Terminal 3 building of the airport is expected to be commissioned in April. The new terminal, estimated at some $250 million, will handle up to 5 million passengers a year, with an expansion potential of up to about 6.5 million passengers. Among other developments within the aviation sector, AM Business takes a look at the President's State of the Nation address to be delivered on Thursday, focusing on the aviation sector.
The Aviation Ministry, one of the newest ministries that was created under the Akufo-Addo administration. Globally, this particular sector is expected to see profits of over $38 billion. Now, this was the forecast by the International Air Transport Association, IATA. So, how does Ghana get to profit from all this? What is Ghana's stake in this $38 billion? Well, we are going to find out about the current state of this particular sector and what to expect in the State of the Nation address. And I'm joined by the Deputy Minister for the sector, in the person of Mr. Kwabena Okyere-Darko-Mensah. Okay, so what is the current state of Ghana's aviation industry?
Currently, I believe that we are doing very well. If you take the industry, we have a lot of stakeholders. We have the airlines, we have the airport company, we have the Civil Aviation Authority. And currently, as we speak, the industry has been growing. If you compare 2016 to 2017, we have actually moved from 2.3 million passengers to 2.6. That's about 10% increase. And that's very good, because if you take the world average and even projections for the next 20 years, we are basically looking at 5%. And therefore, if we are doing 10%, clearly it shows that we are doing very well. If we take investment in infrastructure, you come to realize that there are a lot of infrastructure projects that are going on, and a lot of them will be completed this year. We are talking about Ho Airport. That will be completed in March. This month in February, we are completing our project for Wa Airport. When it comes to Kotoka itself, Terminal 3 is being completed for us by April. So we are on track to deliver the infrastructure for the industry to grow. Okay.
Now, you talk of some 10% growth. What may have driven this particular growth that we are seeing in the sector?
First and foremost, you know that in 2017, when government took over power, we had promised in our manifesto that we were going to reduce or remove the 17.5% VAT on domestic travel. We have been able to do that, and as at the last count, we had increased domestic passenger throughput by 23.5%. So for us, it shows that there was an impact with the policy that was initiated and implemented by the Akufo-Addo government. We also come to realize that Ghana is one of the liberalized skies in Africa. We've signed on to the Yamoussoukro Declaration, and then we have also committed ourselves. And therefore, a lot of the support we give to a lot of other airlines coming into our country is so super that most of the time they want to use it as a hub, because that is also our vision, to make Ghana the hub for aviation and then make it a destination of choice. So these are some of the policies that we are implementing at our airport that is helping us. If you take safety, 2017 Airport Council International awarded the Ghana Airport Company award for maintaining the safety standards at our airport. And these are the indicators that actually attract investors to bring their airlines here to do business with us.
Okay. Now, since we are talking about an aviation hub, I mean, we still have the issue of our national carrier. As a nation, we don't have one. The last one we had, we saw it, well, I think it's still there as a restaurant, but it's gone. what are the plans in place to bring a new one on board? The president said he has given the go-ahead. So what's the state of it?
Yes, I think that when we were campaigning in 2016, an airline was not part of our manifesto, but when my minister went to Parliament for the vetting, he made it clear that it was doable because all successful hubs in the world have their own national carriers or home-based carriers. We got policy approval last year, and this year we put a team together to develop the business plan for the home-based carrier. And they are currently feverishly working to put some touches, final touches to their document. When they present it to the ministry, then we will know the way to go.
Okay, but we hear that some airlines have already expressed interest.
Yes.
Do we know which airlines?
I think that my minister have mentioned them on a number of occasions. Apart from the airlines, we also have consultants and businessmen who are also interested in investing in the Ghana project. Some of them are Ethiopian Airlines, Air Mauritius, Abu Dhabi Aviation, a host of others, a lot of them. So we are going to evaluate each and every one of them. And we have already started. It's not that we have already started evaluating them. And at an appropriate time, Minister or the President will be announcing these, giving this information out.
Do we have any local indigenous carriers?
Yes, Africa World has also expressed interest in the partnering government to deliver on that project.
Okay. Now, as we talk of airlines, currently we have just one indigenous carrier. Unfortunately, Stabo had an accident and is off. So, I mean, with one indigenous carrier, one will say there's too much pressure on this particular airline. What are we doing to address this challenge?
You know that our government wants to create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive, and the airline industry is one area. In fact, our own manifesto, we are clear that I want to support indigenous Ghanaians to be able to build stronger airlines. You have heard of Baby Jet Airline by our own Asamoah, and I know that this year that airline will start operating. Other big giants in this country have also expressed interest to other partner, other foreign companies or themselves to also establish their own airlines. As far as I'm aware, more than 10 people have done so, and I know more than 2 or more than 1 will be able to start operating this year. Yes.
Okay. So with all these airlines coming, once upon a time we had a number of airlines, about 4 or 5 of them, but they've all disappeared and we are down to 1. The question is, what are we going to do differently to sustain these incoming airlines? What is the plan that we have to sustain these ones?
As far as I'm aware, the market for domestic operation is huge. I mean, we could still take on 5 or more. The difficulty that a lot of the airlines have had in the past basically had to do with the price they had paid for their leasing of the aircraft that they have used in the system. Up until 2017, even though the Cape Town Convention was ratified by Parliament, the old government did not deposit it at ICAO. So basically it means that even though you have signed a contract, or you have ratified the agreement, the local airline companies in Ghana could not take advantage of those opportunities. Because usually when you lease and you are under the Cape Town Convention, what it means is that you get better lease or cheaper lease. And therefore, when you start operating, your cost of operation is not so huge that it affects your profits and sustainability. So now that we've been able to do that, a lot of the airlines or Ghanaians who will go into the business will be doing a lot of these leases very cheap.
Well, and hopefully the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, will give us a look into the aviation sector in State of the Nation Address. And talking about the State of the Nation Address, you can always catch that event live here on the channel, because we're going to bring you a comprehensive coverage of that event from the floor of Parliament. We'll bring you the previews, we'll do the main discussions, and then we'll bring you the live event, and thereafter we'll look at the sections of the address by the President. But that'll be it for AM Business. As always, just in case you don't know, you can watch the upload of this segment, that is AM Business, which is brought to you on the AM show every Wednesday morning on our YouTube channel. So make sure that now that data is a lot cheaper, Let us know what you think as you watch us on My Jawline TV on YouTube. But next, Mama View Oswabwaje will be hosting Abraham Amaleba. He's a legal practitioner, a member of the NDC, but also we have Madam Otiko Afisa Jaba, who is the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. And so we'll have a lot more to talk about. Notably, I can guess, the cash for seats scandal, the minority boycott, and now we know that, well, the government, through the information minister, said they had renegotiated the whole package of the cars that would have been brought in for the presidency, bulletproof, into various car categories, not only for the presidency, but also for the Ghana Police Service. All these and more when Mama View Oswabwaje holds the two. Do stay on. We'll be right back.